I saw your video about cleaning new Lamy pens because they were inked for testing, but is that true for all manufacturers? Should you always clean new pens before first use? That's a good question. It's something that basically every manufacturer recommends that you do, just kind of as a common practice. And I think it's a good practice too. Do I always do it? No, because half the time I'm excited about a new pen and I just want to ink it up and get going. And it's not necessarily like super critical required for every pen. Reason most manufacturers put it in there is because there is a possibility there could be some machining oils or a little piece of schmutz or something in there that isn't supposed to be there, but that will wash out and clean out and all that kind of stuff. Most manufacturers are cleaning out the pens and stuff like that, but it's still a good practice just to clean it out for the first time. I think honestly, if you're involved enough in this hobby where you're sitting here watching however long, hour-long video of me talking about pens, you're probably invested enough into it where I can let you know on the down low. So like, yes, okay, the official stance is you should clean out your pens always with every time, and you should, use the ink that the manufacturer recommends, and you should, always do everything properly. Me as a fountain pen enthusiast, I'm like, just use it to your best, like educate yourself, use them however the heck you want, hack it up, do as many different things as you want to do, just understand like what the manufacturer recommends and what you should be doing. Okay, cool. So as far as cleaning the pen goes, it's always a good idea to clean it. Really, that's just in case you have a flow issue or in case you have something where it's not living up to your expectations inking it for the first time. If you haven't cleaned it out, then that's like one variable to your challenge. Is that always going to be a problem? No, not really. But so that's kind of the approach that I take. Is I always not always. Sometimes I'll clean up the pen, but I'll usually just ink up the pen and get really excited and kind of go with it. If I'm having something that's different than what I'm expecting, then cleaning out the pen is one of the first steps that I do. And then some of the times that will actually just eliminate the problem, usually if it's a flow issue. And then other times it won't, and then you know that that's one thing you don't have to worry about. So it really is up to you. The reason I do it that way is because I'm getting new pens basically all the time. So I kind of know what to expect from which manufacturer and stuff like that, and how pens should write and all that. So I know kind of what but if you are like, I want to play it safe, I only buy 2 pens a year or something like that, just go ahead and clean it out. It takes like 2 minutes, and then you don't have to worry about it. With Lamy specifically though, so they write test all their pens, and you'll see this with the Lamy video that I'm gonna have coming out here pretty soon, but they actually ink up every single pen and then write with it with Lamy blue ink. But there's a little bit of ink left in that pen and it kind of dries in there. So it's got like a blue kind of haze on the feed, and just flushing it with water. You don't even need to go crazy with it. You can basically, if you use the blue cartridge or use Lamy blue ink or whatever, that's fine. Like I guess you technically don't have to clean it, you can just go. And I think that's kind of why they design it that way. They include the blue cartridge. I think the majority of people using Lamy pens, especially in Germany, they use cartridges. Like that's just way more common for them. So I think it's not as big of a concern, and I've never really heard of any issue with people who like haven't cleaned out their Lamy pen and then it's like this huge scandal of using it. But there's a little bit of ink left in there, so you just want to clean it out before you get to using it again. Other manufacturers, I can't name another one who has that much ink left in the pen after it's been manufactured like that. I think that's kind of a unique to Lamy thing. It's just extra steps to clean. I guess, I don't know, hasn't been a problem. I've been selling Lamy for 7 years and it's never really been a problem. It's just something you gotta be aware. I did a video on it like years ago about cleaning it out. Probably 6.5 years ago. Like as soon as I noticed that was a thing, I was like, that's weird. I'll just clean it out and it's perfectly fine. Other manufacturers, they do test the pens and stuff like that, but I guess they have additional steps or they test it in a different way where it doesn't get it all inky and stuff like that. So you've got to be more diligent about it, I guess, with Lamy than you do with others, and be aware that if you're having flow issues or something, you got to do it. But otherwise, I really think you have to sweat it all that much, but it's still a good practice.